What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Outlet Show. My name's Joe Wagner. I'm here in Blacksburg, Virginia, for the final podcast of the year, probably, as finals are coming up for everybody here and everybody around the college world. Here's a little break for everybody that we're just going to be giving you here for the next hour and a half or so. And as always, I'm here with my co-hosts. I'm here with Brent Allegra, Braden Wilkins, and Christian Naylor. Guys, what is going on and how are we today, Brent? And
How we doing? I'm doing good.
Feeling phenomenal. It's good Monday, I guess.
Nobody can talk after that.
Feeling great. I love that introduction.
At least you had socks on.
I know. And I'm glad they didn't have holes in them because a lot of my pairs do.
Ooh.
So, I'm not poor, guys. Classic
sock problem. Nice. Mm-hmm. All right. Glad to hear you're all doing well. Excuse you, Braden. Bless you. We're gonna go ahead and get started here with our little podcast that we got here going for you today. And first and foremost, not something that brings me any joy to discuss. Once again, here in the athletic world, we have lost another major important woman to mental health. And I'm going to actually, since this resides close to home for Chris, I'm going to let him talk about losing one of the best softball players we've seen through James Madison.
I mean, it's something that, you really don't want to hit on. I mean, especially with the run that she did last year in the College World Series, catching almost all the games, catching for Odyssey Alexander, who ended up being voted one of the best softball players in the country at the time. I mean, it hits harder than most things. I mean, mental health we've seen more and more prevalent throughout, throughout the year. And I think it's getting worse and worse. And it's a somber feeling, it was a neighbor, it was a friend, it was a teammate, and, it was a former, a student athlete. So, I mean, I think just kind of with all that combined to it, hitting that just kind of really had a pretty dark feeling on you. They always say that, mental health matters and, you should do whatever you can to take care of yourself. But I mean, at the same time, it's still an issue. And I mean, there needs to be change to it. I mean, JMU decided today to cancel the rest of the season, which I feel is the right move. We have a week left in the season. They're ineligible for postseason competition through the new CA's ban. So it was the right thing to do. I mean, these girls have been through so much this past week that just kind of giving them their space and giving them the time, I think, is much needed and much appreciated. And I mean, it just goes to show you that as they're put against the hardest and most rigorous portion of their lives. I mean, they have to be students like everyone else, but at the same time, they have to compete at the highest level. And it just shows you that even if you're competing at the highest level and a successful level, you're still not dealing with it. So I'm hoping that this is another wake-up call for change that needs to happen in the student-athlete community, hiring sports psychologists and, just an additional support system for these athletes to go to because, like I said, student-athletes are put against the rigors of college athletics, and I feel they need to, have an outlet and have a voice to go to when they're feeling down and upset.
Yeah, I think you said it really well, Chris. Just like we said with the Dwayne Haskins sort of thing, once again, you never know. So,
I mean, it shocked the whole world, and no one saw this coming. This was something out of left field for especially the entire community, and something that really hits, like I said, hits really close to home. Being a neighbor, it's just something that we need to look forward to, and I'm hoping to see change after this year and requirements for these universities to give to these student athletes.
Yeah, Brent, Braden, you want to touch on anything about that before we head on to some more positive ideas here in the sports world?
Yeah, I just want to say that if you're ever down on yourself and feel like the world is kind of collapsing on you, don't be afraid to seek help. I know it can be a little daunting to talk to someone about it, but that is in fact the best thing to do. So definitely seek help if you need it.
Braden, anything?
No, I think you guys said it great. Yeah, focusing on mental health is such an important thing in today's world. We just really need to pay more attention,
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Chris, you spoke that really well, and I hope things on campus are starting to get a little brighter each and every day.
No, for sure. I think just with time, it's going to take, obviously, something like this is going to take a long while to heal. And I mean, next season, we'll see what comes about this.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see there, the dedication to Lauren Burnett herself. May God rest her soul, and just everything everybody said. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the NHL and something a little more positive in the light. Now we're talking about a trophy, guys. In my opinion, the greatest trophy that's ever been created in the history of sports is Lord Stanley himself, who also has a phenomenal Twitter presence and is absolutely hilarious. Brent shaking his head there. He knows what I'm talking about. Obviously, kind of a weird season that just kind of wrapped up a little bit, a few postponements in the beginning of the season. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. A lot of injuries this year. A lot of big names we're going to be talking about that aren't going to be showing up in the playoffs for at least one or two games or out for the season. And the end of potentially some of the greatest, one of the best goal scorers of all time, possibly. The end of the possibly big three in Pittsburgh. There's a lot to talk about here, guys, but I'm leaving that juicy stuff till the end, and we're going to go talk about our first conference of the day, which is going to be the Central Conference, guys. We have the number one Colorado Avalanche, who were President's Trophies winners last year, did not win it this year, who's going up against the Nashville Predators. First game's tomorrow at 9:30 on ESPN. And you know me and my sports betting sort of little regimes and stuff. Here's what I put down. Instead of putting game bets and over-unders and all that sort of stupid stuff, I went with series betting. So series betting is Colorado minus 650, Nashville plus 460. This is to win the series in any fashion, shape, or form, which I thought was pretty cool. And last but not least, the Predators won this regular season series 3-1. Brent, I'm going to start with you. Give me the winner, give me the series, and if you have a fact or a player that you want to shout out, do it. Not required. Just floor is yours. Go ahead and start.
Yeah, I have the Avalanche in 5 in this one. The Avalanche have the edge when it comes to offensive efficiency and goaltending. Darcy Kemper back there has been phenomenal this season. Joe touched on it. 3-1 record, actually by Nashville this year. So it could be a little dicey, but the Preds haven't been playing too hot lately. They blew a 4-goal lead against the Coyotes on Friday night. Otherwise, they would be playing Calgary right now, which might be a little bit of a better matchup. Who knows? But yeah, I think the Avalanche have this one easy.
Chris.
I mean, Brent said everything very well. I have the Avalanche in 5 games. I mean, they're just the more dominant team. Even though Nashville took this the series during the season, I just feel that when it comes to playoff time, it doesn't matter what happened in the season. It matters what happens in the next 7 games. And I just see the Avalanche being the better team and winning in 5.
Braden.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you guys said. I also have the Avalanche in 5.
Well, not to be someone that piggybacks on anybody, but I also have the Avalanche in 5. And I do believe it's going to be a pretty good series to watch. But my main little factoid statement that I came up with is that if the Avalanche do not at least reach the Western Conference Finals, Nathan McKinnon will not be on the Avalanche next year.
Bold.
All right.
I have a similar ideology coming up later with the Edmonton Oilers, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Chris, you want to go ahead and start us off with the Minnesota Wild versus the St. Louis Blues?
Oh, Calgary has been playing really hot lately. Let's see. When in my notes here, they have lost the last 2, which is kind of. But in the last 10, they're 6-2-2. I mean, they're just a dominant force up front season. And so with the Kings, not with the Kings. My apologies. With the Blues, having the Blues winning 6-2. I just love the St. Louis Blues. I love what they're putting on the ice, and I think they're putting in something just a little bit of a better product than what we're seeing from the Wild right now. So I got the Blues.
You got the Blues in 6, right?
Blues in 6, yes.
Okay. I forgot to give the background information on it, but Braden, I'll give you the little tidbit for you. You're special today. You get it. Game 1 tonight is at 9:30 on ESPN. The series is Minnesota minus 138 to St. Louis's plus 115. The Blues did win all 3 of the regular season meetings between these teams and have won 5 of their last 5 playing the Minnesota Wild. Braden, go ahead. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good series. I actually have the Blues in 7. I think this is just going to be a great series that's going to come down to the wire, and it's going to be a fun one to watch, I think.
Brent?
Yeah, the Blues swept the Wild this season. They beat them 3 different times throughout the year. The Blues have also been the best team in goal scoring efficiency since the trade deadline with 4.58 goals per game. It will be tight, but give me the Blues in this one. I have it in 7.
Wow. Interesting. All right. I actually have the Minnesota Wild in 6, and that's because I am a huge fan of who's in between the pipes there of Marc-Andre Fleury, and I am extremely excited to see what the Wild can put up. We do seem to have an issue with the screen, though, apparently. And yes, Brayden, I saw David's comment. I have no idea if this is fixing it or not. All right, let me run a little something on it. Welcome to the first ever technical difficulty in the Sports Outlet Show, guys. It took us 3 years.
It happens.
Took us 3 years for it to happen. 2 years, 3 years. We're good. Yep, we're good. You know, it's nice to have your phone handy in situations like this. And I guess we're just going to keep on keeping on. Let me put this little infographic back on the screen. I guess we were too awesome with our infographics, guys. All right. So we finished talking about the Minnesota Wild and the St. Louis Blues. Sorry about that little mishap there, guys. So we're going to move on into the Pacific Conference, where we have the number 1 Calgary Flames versus the WC wildcard one of the Dallas Stars, who have 98 points. Calgary, second fastest team I've seen in the entire NHL. They're fast on the puck. Johnny Gaudreau is one of the best players in the NHL right now. Fastest players, if I might implement. Game 1 is tomorrow at 10 o'clock on ESPN2. And the Flames won that regular series 2-1 against the Dallas Stars. Excuse me. And for this, I have the Calgary Flames in 6. I love the Flames. They're fast. But this Stars defense is very physical. They're very great on the puck. I have the Flames in 6. And my note for the little note that we're supposed to have for some of these is the winner of this series does not matter because they will lose to the Oilers.
Yeah, I have the Flames in 4 for a lot of the reasons you did. The Flames, they're one of the best teams on all sides of the puck. They score the 5th most goals in the league per game. They have one of the most shutdown defenses in the league, and they are top 10 in both power play and penalty kill percentage. When I look at the Stars, I look at a team that I am surprised even made the playoffs. Rube Hintz, Jason Robertson, and Joe Pavelski are a great trio, but they didn't have great numbers throughout the year. And beyond them, the roster is pretty lackluster. So I have the Flames in 4. I think it's going to be pretty easy for them.
Yeah, I would have to say we agree there with the Flames, but do the two below us think that the fire on ice is going to keep running?
Oh my God, absolutely. The last matchup versus with the Flames and the Stars, they went to a 4-3 contest, but I mean, the Flames are just an absolutely dominant team over them. I mean, I have the Flames in 5 games, and I do agree that this team is whoever wins this will lose the next series. I mean, it's just bound to happen. They're not the 2 best teams we're watching, but I do have the Flames in 5.
Yeah, I think
Brandon, are you gonna piggyback on us?
I am. I think Brent said it best here. It's It's going to be a pretty easy series for the Flames, but as you said, I agree it's not going to matter in the end, but I have the Flames in 5.
All right, so I guess fire on ice is a good thing. I guess that's what we figured out here in this section of the podcast. No one has any faith in Dallas in the playoffs. What's that about?
Just like their football team, no faith.
I guess it doesn't matter unless you know what? I'm gonna hold on to that thought. I'm gonna hold on to that one because I have a lot to say later. Lastly, here in the Western Conference, we have the Edmonton Oilers versus the loss of the irrelevant post good team of the. Can someone read that other team name for me?
I'm so surprised. Los Angeles Kings.
Thank you. Wait, Los Angeles Oilers in 4. I'm done.
I have the Oilers in 5. Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid combined for 99 goals and 134 assists this season. That is absurd. It's the best duo in the entire Stanley Cup playoffs, and their season has just been incredible. We can't overthink this one, just like Joe was saying. Oilers in 5.
What about the bottom feeders, huh?
All right. Oilers in 4. That is all.
Wow. I'm going to play a little different here. I have the Kings in 6.
Okay.
Can we all remember the last time Edmonton was in the playoffs? They got blown out by the Winnipeg Jets in 4 games. I'm going with a dark horse team. There's always one that's in the playoffs, so these are going to be my dark horse team. I have the Kings in 6.
Oh, sorry. This just pops up out of nowhere sometimes. My bad on that. Chris, I didn't hear a single thing you said after something about the Kings.
It's okay. I'm meant to prove people wrong, so just watch out for when they win in 6.
You want to make it interesting?
I'm not betting.
Did you lose too much money to Rebel this weekend?
Yeah, those chess games got me. He requested it today, so I got to pay that one tomorrow.
Fair enough. I'm going to do the we're going to the Atlantic Division here. You're going to notice this first team that's popping up isn't actually in the Atlantic Division. Brent, I'm going to let you talk about your soul and faith up against the President's Trophy winners.
Yeah. I usually try to be pretty optimistic, especially when it comes to the Capitals. This year, I'm not going to be. The Capitals have not been playing their best hockey. They've lost their last 3 games. 2 of those were against the Islanders, who have not been good this season. Their other one came against the Rangers. It was a pretty important game, and they got handled pretty easily. Despite that, Ovi's having a historic year, like he seems to every single season. But the defense and goaltending is absolutely abysmal. The Panthers are probably the best team in hockey, and it's going to be a slugfest. And that's all I have for that. Panthers in 5.
Wow,
Chris,
Brent,
you want to backbeat
I'm going to
that?
figure right back off of that. I do agree the Capitals have been playing their best hockey, but I mean, look who's off the ice right now. It came out a report today that Ovi's eyeing a Game 1 return, so we could see him tonight, which
he'll be back.
Yeah,
which
I'm hoping, which I think will electrify the ice. I mean, we've seen the Capitals in the playoffs. I mean, they're usually a completely separate team. Even if they're the best, they'll play their worst hockey. If they're the worst, they'll play their best hockey. So I have this being a slugfest to the end. I have the Capitals winning in 7 games.
Wow.
All right. I'm going to agree with Brent here. It's been a pretty disappointing season with the Caps. And like Brent said, the Florida Panthers might be the best team in hockey right now. So I'm going to go with the Panthers in 5.
No faith.
I have some faith, Chris. Wait till you hear what I'm about to say. I have some faith that they'll lose in 6. And not 5. Hey, that's more faith. That's more faith.
Respectable.
First of all, hockey in Florida, the ice could be a little shifty. The puck could bounce around. You never know. It's really hot there. Second of all, Bobrovsky is the biggest question mark going into this series. Has he had a great year? Yes, but look at Bobrovsky's playoff past. I'm gonna use Brent's word, abysmal. It's been abysmal.
He has a pretty poor track record against the Caps. Do I think that's gonna matter? No. The Panthers they've been the best team all year, and the Capitals have not been hot, especially lately. It's going to be disappointing for me to watch because I feel like they're going to win one game early, and then that's going to get my hopes up, and then it's just going to go all downhill from there. Like it does.
I will always have faith in them.
I personally guarantee that they split that series going back to Capital One.
Yeah. And the Caps play good on the road, too. They've played better on the road this season than they have at home. So that's very much a possibility.
Yeah, and you never know. It's always the playoffs. We've seen President's Trophy teams go left and right. You guys know that better than me.
I mean, it's like I said, basically on the Capitals. They've won the President's Trophy in the past and went out round one, which I mean.
To be fair, you were in the Metropolitan, and that's a pretty dang good division.
I think the last President's Trophy winner was the Blackhawks, and that was like 2013 or something. So it's been a while, for sure.
Well, it's somewhere on the ticker on the bottom. It's about to scroll by. Whenever
just remember when the Capitals played the Panthers in November 26th, November 30th, they split it. So 4-3 Caps win, and then a 5-4 Panthers win. So I think it's just going to be a shootout series.
Yeah, the Panthers won one of those games before that too in the early months. The Panthers took the series 2-1. But
so, I mean, I think it's just something to watch for. I think it's going to be an electrifying series.
Oh, and my little statistic here is that Connor Sherry is going to score 4 goals.
Connor Sherry has been nice this season.
I love Connor Sherry. He's
been awesome. I think he's been playing with the top 2 lines basically like the entire back half of the year. So he's definitely stepped up his game. He's one of our faster guys, and I love him. I love him to death. He's awesome.
Speaking of talking about teams and not doing well in the playoffs, since we were talking about Bobrovsky, I'm going to look at the number 2 seed there, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the number 3 Tampa Bay Lightning. Since I think that Braden might know the least here about hockey, maybe I could be wrong. He might come out of here with looking like a seasoned pro. Braden, when's the last time the Maple Leafs made it past the first round? What year?
That's a really good question. Wouldn't be able to tell you that off the top of my head, but I'm going to go sometime in the early 2000s. So like 2007, maybe that.
Chris.
Oh, putting it on me. I'm going to say it's probably been since like 2005, something like that. 2004, 2005.
Correct.
2004.
2004. Correct. It is 2004 since the Maple Leafs made it past the first round, and how phenomenal their team is. Austin Matthews has the most points in the league this year. He's going nuts. You get stuck with the back-to-back Stanley champs in the first round.
Hey.
In my opinion, the best team in the Atlantic Division is the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I mean, the past 2 years have been phenomenal for them. And that's why I have, the Lightning winning in 6 games, because have faith, They're going to look to repeat. They're not going to repeat, but I think they're going to get pretty far in the playoffs.
Yeah, one thing that's crazy about that stat that Joe just read off is, the last time they advanced in the playoffs was 2004. They played 45 postseason games during that time span, which is just – it's a lot. It's a lot of games. They've lost a lot of heartbreakers.
Including a handful of Game 7s.
Yeah, but let me tell you why it changes this year. It won't be easy at all. The defending Stanley Cup champs, I know, but I think the Maple Leafs get their first playoff series win in a long, long time. Austin Matthews and Steven Stamkos have been playing fantastic. Austin Matthews has like 60 goals this year, leading goal scorer. He's just incredible. I have the Maple Leafs in 7.
I'm going to hop on the 7 train, but I'm hopping on the opposite train of that. Is I have the Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 after the Maple Leafs pull a Golden State Warriors.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to take the Lightning here as well. I'm gonna give them 6. I think the back-to-back champs are really hungry right now, and they're not gonna let it slide in the first round. They're gonna advance to at least the next round, and they'll be fine this series.
And obviously, you're also forgetting that Vasilevsky is debatably the best goalie in this entire playoff race. So, and he has the experience too, so you can kind of jump on that. Final division we're going to move to, guys, is the Metropolitan. Very interesting way the Metro kind of polished up this year, with the Capitals ending up in the Atlantic and Boston coming to the Metro. But as the only one that has seen the Boston Bruins play live this year, Braden, you can go ahead and start us off.
All right. Yeah, the Hurricanes and then the Boston Bruins. It's going to be game 1 has started about an hour ago. Haven't seen anything from there so far, but I think the Hurricanes are going to take this one in 5. I think it'll be pretty easy, honestly. We'll see how that goes. Nice. Good to see.
It's like crystal clear. Hey, you have no background information now. Chris.
Oh, the Carolina Hurricanes, what a team. That's all I got to say. What a team. I have them beating the Bruins 4-2, or have them taking in 6 games. I mean, I don't like the Boston Bruins. Never have, never will. Carolina Hurricanes are just the more dominant team, 4-2.
See, there's a difference in hockey between liking and respecting. And
I don't respect them at all.
Okay, fair enough.
I hate the fans, hate the team.
Respecting how good they play. And the Boston Bruins
part of their game
are going to give the Hurricanes one heck of a series. The Boston Bruins have the talent at everything besides in goal, which you kind of need. You need a goalie. But I think they're going to scare the Hurricanes, but they're not going to win. I have the Hurricanes in 7, a very scary series for them, and a little nice energy boost to wake up.
Yeah, this is actually my upset of the playoffs. I have the Bruins beating the Canes in 6. The Bruins have won 6 of their last 8, including wins against the Panthers, the Rangers, the Blues, and the Pens. 4 playoff teams. They're getting hot at the right time, and I think they're one of the hottest teams going into the playoffs. So I think they're going to win the first round.
I very much love that statement, and yeah, that's all I have to say. I can 100% see it happening, 100%. And that, unfortunately, brings us to our final series of the day.
The worst series, in my opinion.
Hey, you're telling me this series is going to be worse than the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings?
Yeah, because when the Kings win, I'll be pretty excited. So,
anyways,
when the Penguins win, I won't be excited.
Oh, well, they're not going to win, so you're okay there.
I have a little faith.
Not you didn't pick your team. I'm not going to pick mine because
I picked my team.
That's fair. I forgot.
And I picked yours.
Wait, say that one more time.
I may have picked the Penguins to win in 7.
I don't think that's ever happened that Chris has picked the Penguins to win anything ever.
You know why? Because I always pick them to lose and they always win.
Nice reverse psychology there. All right, I see what you're doing. But New York Rangers, they have the Vezina goalie in net. They have Igor in net. That's all I have to say about that. We, on the other hand, have an all-star goalie in net that isn't in net because Tristan Jarry is hurt and is expected to be out at least the first 2 games. Gonna be a problem. Casey DeSmith has zilch nada playoff experience. He's been playing well, but that experience is going to bite you in the butt. And this is the last playoff series you're going to see the big 3 play together in Pittsburgh. So Rangers in 6, and we're shipping Chris Letang and Evgeny Malkin after this year, unfortunately. So whoever wants to go next is fine.
Yeah, I have the Rangers in 5. The Penguins, much like the Capitals, are not playing their best hockey. They were 5-8 in the month of April, so a pretty poor record for a playoff team. And I just think the Rangers have been pretty good defensively, and like you said, in net, Igor Shesterkin has been incredible. Rangers in 5.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of that and say Rangers is 6 as well. Once again, you guys said it perfectly.
Chris is the only one that believes in the Pittsburgh Penguins. I never thought I'd say that on this podcast.
He's the only one that believes in the Caps too.
Yeah.
And the Kings.
Believe.
Hold on. Let's put a Chris, I have something special for you today. You ready for this?
Oh God.
Today,
God.
for your
Put
Sports
me away.
Spectrum podcast,
Oh.
you get the stage,
Oh.
my friend. It's all yours.
Absolutely. Well, after the last one I did, I decided to take it a little, notch a little down a little bit because I feel a little dirty after the last one. But I'm gonna roll with this one. It's about golf. Back to playing. I sadly can't play for the next few weeks, but that doesn't mean I'm never gonna talk about it. My sports fact is the average golf ball can reach a speed of 170 miles per hour. And to put in perspective, Bryson DeChambeau, driver, reaches a speed about 132 miles an hour. So the question is, who's hitting a golf ball 170 miles an hour? And if they do, who are they going to kill? Just think about it. I've never reached 170 miles an
head
hour.
to anybody, that's going to kill anybody. That's why we invented the word for.
Hey,
I don't know if you're going to be able to duck a ball trap
170 miles per hour golf ball coming straight at your head.
You're not going to be able to call 4 before it hits them.
The flash cam.
So just think about that. When you're golfing and you decide to stand in front of Bryson and he's hitting a golf ball 132 miles an hour. Not your best scene.
I know like a really good baseball velocity is like 112.
Whoa. And we just saw a picture for 10 through 105 miles per hour. So
I'm talking about an exit velocity off a bat.
Well, off a bat, yeah. So think of it. It's going harder than a ball off a bat.
So you're telling me that Bryson DeChambeau can hit a ball harder than Mike Trout can hit a ball?
Yes.
That's scary.
Well, yeah. So don't stand in front of a golf ball for the love of anything. Usually like a golfer like me, maybe like 80 to 90. So like probably me's okay. Bryson, not so okay.
I appreciate that fact, Chris. Would you like to stay in the top left, or would you like your place back?
Oh, this is a switch up for me. I got to go back. I don't like it here.
All right. I'll switch us.
I like being next to Braden so I can make sure his points are bad enough.
Hey.
We're going to take a few seconds here for questions. I know we have some in the chat. If you want to put some more before we transfer into our NBA playoff segment. The first one is this isn't even a question. It's do a flip. So Chris, go ahead and stand up and do a flip for us.
I'm gonna have to pass. I don't think the doctors or the orthopedic surgeon is gonna get me attempting to do a flip in a mini boot.
Fair enough.
I can just hold this with me and just take it around.
Fair enough. Someone says Criley forever. Oh my gosh, he left the chat. He literally left. Here. I can remove you for a second. There we go. Now he's gone. Oh, he's back. Next one is, when are you guys talking about the draft? After the NBA playoffs, we have a draft analysis going, Carson. We'll talk about how bad the Broncos are. Someone wants to know, how did us talking about hockey affect LeBron James's legacy?
That's a great question. I honestly think it shatters LeBron's legacy.
LeBron is still trash. That's all I have to say.
Honestly, LeBron's not even top 15 anymore after that. That's all I got to say.
I want to see LeBron in a hockey fight. We got to put him up against Tom Wilson or something.
That would be fun.
The question after that is, what do we think of, it says me, but I'm going to ask everybody. What's your opinion on competitive barrel racing?
I think it's a sport that we should include in college. Make it a college athletic sport. Put someone on the top of a hill and roll them down and see who wins.
Trying to see what origin this is.
It's a sport that doesn't get enough attention here on this podcast, and
This is true.
I feel pretty sad that we don't talk about competitive barrel racing as much as we should.
Honestly,
I agree. We're gonna have a good 15-minute conversation next podcast about barrel racing.
I think
Maybe one podcast.
We need to compete.
Have fun fact about barrel
Exactly.
racing.
You know what? Maybe we need to go down to one of the Blacksburg farms, get some barrels, get some horses, and let's just live stream it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That would be great.
put my ankle in a barrel and see what happens right now.
It's not
Hey,
going
Braden,
in
I'll
a
see you this
barrel, you're
weekend
going
for barrel.
around
Yeah.
a barrel.
I'll
What'd
see
you
you
say,
this
Chris?
weekend for barrel racing.
Oh yeah, bet. I'm excited.
Jeez. Carson says that's not how it works. Golf balls are so much lighter. I'm aware. Mike Trout would destroy
Carson,
a
you're also
golf
very
ball.
wrong. You know how hard a golf ball and a baseball swing are different. Mike Trout, may not be able to hit it that hard. Just because he's a baller around the plate doesn't mean he's a baller on the
You
tee.
know what? This is us calling out Mike Trout to hit a golf ball as hard as he can.
We've seen that
That'll
already in
happen.
Topgolf.
Yeah, I think I've seen that video, Chris.
I need the
Mhm.
speed in the video to see how hard he hit that thing because I know it was over the net, but
Yeah, he destroyed that thing.
What are your thoughts on the Met Gala? Chris, what are your thoughts on the Met Gala?
I actually have something.
Go for
let
it.
Brent speak before me on the
Go
Met
for it.
Gala.
Did Jason Derulo fall at the Met Gala? Because I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of him like on top of his head at the Met Gala when he was coming down the stairs. Someone needs to comment on that because I saw it on Twitter and I don't know if it's actually true or not, but it looked extremely funny.
Well, while we
I
look
need to
up
see a
that,
video.
I don't know,
Um,
but Kylie Jenner wore some sort of a white wedding gown.
well, that was
Getting there.
Haley Bieber's white wedding gown, or white gown for sure.
Nice.
Sorry, been checking the Twitter about the Met Gala all day.
Gilded Glamour, was the theme for 2022. Very nice, very nice. I don't know. We'll have someone in the chat look up Jason Derulo while we answer the next one. Katie said it's at something else, Brent.
Okay.
The next one, Grace wants to know who the hottest baseball player is.
Give me
You
Mike
ain't gonna
Trout.
catch me lacking. You ain't gonna catch me
You can't
lacking.
pick
Mike
Mike
Trout.
Trout.
Give me Mike Trout.
I'm not gonna be caught lacking around here. These parts.
The cutest baseball player is Juan Soto.
This is fair. This is fair.
He's very
Why,
cute.
Brent? Why
He's
is he
so
the
cute.
cutest?
Look at his face.
Well, according to Ranker.com, it's
Oh,
Kiki
my Lord.
Hernandez and Cody Bellinger.
Okay,
Bryce Harper.
or like Trey Turner. I could see that.
Bryce Harper's got to be up there, I would think.
No, the other ones are George Springer and Mookie Betts.
Wow.
There's something that says who is the ugliest baseball player. It's his name.
Bartolo Colon.
This guy's name.
Just kidding. Bartolo Colon's sexy. He's
Yeah,
big
that's
sexy.
big sexy right there.
If I had to say who the hottest baseball player is, I would say Chris Bryant.
Thank you.
He's an attractive man. It's good. But if we're talking about movie stars, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
We're getting off
Phenomenal.
topic.
We're not off topic. It's
I was talking about golf balls 5 minutes ago, and now I'm talking about Ryan Reynolds. Okay,
This is fine. I don't see the issue.
Joe and Braden. What is your favorite club sport only at Virginia Tech? Clubs? I
Like-
play intramurals.
She means like currently playing. It's got to be softball because we're insane. We're nice.
Oh yeah,
Number
semifinal
2 in the
softball.
country. No, I mean like the club team. We're number 2 in the nation. We're
That's not our club team. That's our athletic team.
whatever.
I have no clue. Apparently, there was only one right answer. All right, we're gonna take two more, and one of them's up there. It's not even a question. I just thought Carson was cool with it. Oh, the correct answer is Quidditch, and I'm really upset you didn't get that. I did not know we had a Quidditch club sport team.
Oh yeah, Quidditch. We have Quidditch at JMU too. It's pretty big.
I've seen people out on the drill field playing it, but I've never personally seen it like I'll the thing that Carson had going for him here, which was pretty cool, is every time Joey Votto makes a TikTok, they have won. But every time he hasn't, they've lost every game, and the Reds are 0-19 when Joey Votto does not post.
I've actually seen that. I think that's super interesting.
It sounds like he's going to have to become the next Juju or Jackson Mahomes.
But it has like the opposite effect.
While we're on this sort of topic, I love the in-game interviews of the players on the pitch. I love that. Love it.
I agree.
Great for broadcasting. Great for business. Brent.
All right. All right.
That face.
I don't know.
All right, it's time.
So time for NBA basketball.
Professional business. Time to get back to professional business. We'll take questions one more time right before we do the NFL draft. So think of something that's gonna make Chris look silly up here. So something about the Texans.
If you have something in your mind,
Texans.
If you have something in your mind, type it out, and we'll get to it later. We'll get to it. We promise. We promise.
Yes.
As long as it doesn't pertain to the Texans or Dak Prescott.
All right, we're talking about basketball, baby. We got the number 1 Miami Heat versus the Joel Embiid-less Philadelphia 76ers. That's not good for them. That's not good for them. Game 1 is on right now. TNT, go switch your channels. Someone in the chat tell me what the score is right now. I know the Sixers are losing. But Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers, Jimmy Butler versus the band of goons over there in Philadelphia. But Joel Embiid's going to be coming back game 3, game 4, possibly. Obviously a huge loss, but when you have Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, and Tobias Harris, I think you're going to be okay a little bit. That's why I have the Sixers in, no pun intended, 6.
Ooh. Yeah, I have the Heat in 5. Embiid already playing with a torn ligament in his thumb, broke his face against the Raptors in game 6. Joe already talked about it. But Embiid is essential for the Sixers, in my opinion. MVP candidate. He's not going to be himself, even if he does find a way back in this series. And I think the Heat are highly underrated. I feel like even though they're a 1 seed, people are just crapping on them. And they're a really good team, and they deserved that 1 seed. So I have the Heat in 5.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a nice little. Go ahead.
Thank you. To piggyback off Brent, I do have the Heat in 6. I mean, without Joe Embiid, for almost 4 games, it's going to kind of suck for them. They're probably going to lose most, if not all, those games. But once he comes back, like Brent said, he's so beat up and injured. I don't know how much a factor he's actually going to be and how much playing time he can ensue. So that's why I have the Heat in 6.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think this is going to be a nice revenge series for Jimmy Butler here. David says that the Sixers are up 51-50 at half, so we'll see how that goes. I do think it's going to be the Heat in 6. Joel Embiid is eyeing a game 3 or 4 return, but I don't know how, as Chris said, I don't know how affected he'll be coming off that injury.
The last time you 3 went against me, something happened.
Oh, boy.
We'll get to that series in a second, but I'm proud to stand on my own here again. That's all I have to say. 51-50 at halftime right now. We'll see what happens along the rest of the way. They are in Miami. Speaking of the series that started last night was the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. Milwaukee did win that game 101-89. They're leading that series, getting that huge win in Boston last night. And that was just an ugly game last night, full of physicality that the Bucks had. There was no answer from Boston. Jason Tatum didn't have an answer. Tatum only scored 21. Drew Holiday actually put up 25 here for Milwaukee. And the Boston Celtics got their ticket punched last night. And that just shows, and I think Stephen A. Smith said this. I think it might have been him. It might have been somebody else. But it just shows how bad the Brooklyn Nets actually were.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you bring off a valid point. Watching that game yesterday was pitiful. I mean, like I said, I'm not a big Boston teams fan. Never really liked them, and it just kind of showed it. I mean, especially with the Celtics, their incident last series. I mean, it's crappy. So that's why the Bucks winning in 6.
I also have the Bucks winning in 6.
I'm glad we're thinking together.
Anytime,
Yeah,
buddy.
I actually did not pick the Bucks. Yeah, they looked amazing yesterday. Giannis was going off. He had a triple-double. But the Celtics just didn't look like they were playing their best, and we saw them at their best against the Nets. They're a really good basketball team. My player to watch is Robert Williams. He still looks a little slow and banged up after coming back for the first time against the Nets. They need him to remain healthy because they have an extreme height disadvantage against the Bucks. I'm pretty sure 3 of the Bucks starters, Brook Lopez, Giannis, and Bobby Portis, are all taller than everybody on the Celtics. So they are at a disadvantage when it comes to height. But the Celtics are a really good team. And, yeah, I have the Celtics in 7.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards Brent's side as well. Carson just made up an amazing point that I was going to say as well. Chris Middleton is out for a while, and he's obviously one of their best players. We didn't see the Celtics come out and do what they needed to do yesterday, but I think they will come out and they will take it in 7 as well.
Wow.
We're
I just think you're wrong.
Jason Tatum's a baller.
We're split.
Oh,
split.
there's no
think
doubt
you're
about
wrong.
it. Jason Tatum
is a baller.
We're gonna, I guess, transition. Brent, you want to go ahead and explain your name to the crowd while they can see it for people that don't know?
I was gonna get to the. I'll talk about it when it gets to the draft. I'll talk about it when it gets to the draft.
All right. Gotta put this one up now. Oh, the number 1 Phoenix Suns versus the number 5 Utah Jazz. Oh no, that's the Dallas Mavericks. Huh. It's the Dallas Mavericks. I thought we just. Oh no, I had the Dallas Mavericks. Okay. Anyways, game 1 is tonight at 10 p.m. on TNT. The Phoenix Suns had a little scare there from the new and improved New Orleans Pelicans. By the way, Zion not playing in game 6, saying he would play in 7 is stupid. I'll let you guys heard about that, right? Oh my gosh, maybe not.
I didn't hear about it.
There was a report that Zion Williamson had been cleared to play for about 3 days, so game 5 and game 6, and he said that he was holding himself out for game 7.
Ooh, he did
Personally,
himself dirty there.
the doctors cleared him to play.
Sounds like Ben Simmons.
Does.
A little controversy there in New Orleans.
See, I think that's better. Like, he at least said that he was holding himself out for game 7. Ben Simmons just said he had back soreness the day of the game. So I don't know. I don't know which one's worse here.
Can we talk about Ben Simmons' outfit for a second, though?
It was great. I don't know what you mean. It was great.
Was that game 3?
It was
game
game
3.
3. Mm-hmm.
He looked like a clown. He literally had a clown outfit on the bench. And the rest of the team was wearing black, so it just made it that much worse. It was awful.
Because he is a clown.
He's accepted it. He's accepted the
fact that he went to the NBA.
Jeez, boys. But yeah, and then Zion proceeded to say that he is very much looking forward to getting a contract extension and will sign it immediately.
Well, yeah, I don't.
You think Trevor Lawrence is a bust?
Just kidding. I think that's a weird thing to say.
Yes, he is.
Because I don't know many teams. Like, I could be completely wrong here, but I don't know if any teams would be looking for somebody like Zion after the way he's played the past couple years. I'm not 100% sure, but like, I'm sure a team would pick him up just because of the name. But of course, why wouldn't you resign with the Pelicans? That's all I'm saying.
I have no idea. I mean, Brandon Ingram didn't play for a lot of this season and then came back game 1 and played some of his best basketball ever.
Yeah, Brandon
Yeah,
Ingram
exactly.
is really good.
I love Brandon Ingram, and him and CJ McCollum. And if Zion decides to start playing, scary.
Could be scary. Could be scary.
That's why we were talking about the Pelicans earlier. But back to this series, we're getting off topic. The Phoenix Suns, the best team in basketball this year, are going to lose to the Dallas Mavericks in 7. Welcome to the world of Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson, ladies and gentlemen. I will open the floor for discussion.
I am going to not agree with you on the series. I think the Suns are just the more dominant team all around. They've been playing dirty lately. That's why I have the Suns winning in 5 games.
I'm honestly going to agree with Joe here. I know we slept on the Mavericks last series, but I think they have what it takes. I think the Suns, I think it's going to be a long, good series, but I think the Mavericks are going to take it in 7.
I like the Suns in 6. Devin Booker's getting back from injury. At the end of the last game, he was finally getting the normal amount of minutes he usually does for a half. And I think he's back. He's back, and he's going to be a menace, like he always is. Him and CP3 are crazy together. I have the Suns in 6.
Did you see the FJ Crowder shirts on Twitter?
I did not.
Those are so funny. You got to look them up after this. Jay Crowder and I think Devin Booker wore bright pink shirts that said FJ Crowder on them. I don't know the story behind it, but it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Final series here is going to be the Golden State Warriors versus the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't know if you guys watched that game last night. I did not. I watched the highlight reel. Golden State leads 1-0 after their 117-116 win last night. Ja went off for 34 points. Jordan Poole went off for 31 points. And, guys, Steph Curry went back into the starting lineup this week. But guess who went to the bench? Guess who came off the bench and scored 31 points?
Super kid.
Jordan Poole came off the bench.
And Draymond got ejected.
Deservingly.
All I can say for that is the Warriors are back. They're having depth. They're back to being able to pick up anyone off the bench, and they're going to score 31 points. Again, why I have the Warriors winning is 5.
Yeah, the Warriors look so damn good. It's crazy. Between Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, they can shoot amazing. And it's just so hard for teams to keep up when you're scoring that many points in a game.
I mean, with
the
Clay
Warriors,
back,
the Warriors are back in a big way. And I think I'm going to change my pick to the Warriors to win the whole thing because they're just so good.
Yeah, I have the Warriors in 5 in the series. Obviously, Klay Thompson hit the game-winning 3 last night. I think it was 36 or 34 seconds left, and Memphis couldn't capitalize on any more opportunities. I know Braden saw it because I told him about it, but have you guys seen the Steph Curry versus LeBron James playoff under 30-second statistic?
Mm-mm.
So in a playoff game with 30 seconds left on the line, there's a statistic between LeBron James and Stephen Curry taking a shot. In the playoffs, LeBron James is 17 for 29. Steph Curry is 0 for 12.
I mean,
interesting.
It's hard to hit shots at the end of games.
Hey, that's why we want Iguodala. That's why we want Iguodala.
I want Iguodala.
He's coming off the bench and only playing like 12 minutes too, I think.
Right, but he comes off the bench and hits the game winners.
Oh yeah.
You'll miss most of the shots or most of those shots at the end of games. It's just it's highly unlikely to hit buzzer beaters. But that is an interesting statistic. So,
yeah. Braden, we didn't get your series, I don't think.
Oh yeah, no, I love the series. I think this one's gonna be really entertaining. There's so much star power, so many fun players to watch. But I do have the Warriors in 6.
Very nice, very nice. We're going to the next segment of the day, which is Brent and I's, and we have our best bets of the day. Brent, I think I see why you did yours, how you did them now, because they'd be able to put it in for the 10 o'clock. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'll definitely get back on that next time. But for my two, I went with the first game, and I went with Tyrese Maxey over 21.5 points and the 76ers plus 7.5, which is why I've been cheering for them the whole time. Currently, the 76ers are up 2, and Tyrese has 16 points with 9 minutes to go in the third. So I apologize I didn't get those out sooner. Those are my two best bets, and I can't really speak any more of the fact on them, but the fact that, Brent, you're 4-0, yes? 3-0, 4-0?
Yeah. I'm 4-0 in my bets. So if you want to tail some, I have two here for you, and you can jump on them. This game starts at 10 o'clock. But Joe, your bets are looking good. I have Luka Doncic over 7.5 assists. Luka played over 40 minutes in the last game versus the Jazz, as he has completely gotten over his injury at this point. And he will also probably have Bridges and Crowder on him a lot in this game, forcing the ball out of his hands, forcing the ball to his teammates. Jalen Brunson, Joe talked about him earlier. But yeah, I like that stat for him. I think he'll get over 7.5 assists. And then, much like Luka, I have Devin Booker over 23.5 points because he is finally getting back up to speed. I had talked about it earlier. He played 19 straight second-half minutes in his last game after taking it easy in the first half. He's finally back up to speed. I think he plays a full game in this one, and this line is way too low if that happens. He's going to score over 23.5 if he plays the full game.
Very nice. Very nice there for the 10 o'clocks. Yeah, we'll have to see how my 7 o'clocks go, but next time I'll definitely make sure to do that. But Braden knows more than anybody that I love betting on the 76ers. Just all the time. Tobias Harris is over 15.5 is like the scariest bet I've ever placed in my life because he scores between 15 and 16 points every single game.
What's he at? Because I actually put that one in. I put one of those in tonight.
He was 18.5, wasn't he?
I think he was I thought he was 14.5.
Well, he's at 16 points right now, so feel happy with it.
It was 16.5. So I need one more point.
You get to stress like I did. Nice. But let's go ahead and cause some controversy here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chris, how do you like these apples? How do we like this one?
I mean, coming into this, Trayvon Walker was slowly getting ranked higher than Aiden Hutchinson's in the draft. Slowly getting more press. But at the end of the day, I think they messed up with this pick. I love Aiden Hutchinson. To me personally, he is the best player in this year's draft class. And them going with Trayvon Walker was kind of a slap to the face to Jaguars fans who were hoping that the organization would turn themselves around. We saw Trevor Lawrence not the best year. And the question now retains to, is this draft pick going to come back and bite them in the butt again? So I don't like the pick. I really wish they went to Aiden Hutchinson's. Now the Lions got him at 2. And I mean, he's a player that'll fit their system perfectly.
May I ask why you decided that was going to bite them in the butt from last year? I think their quarterback's okay this year.
I mean, I still hate Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a bust. Going into year 2, I'm looking to see him. If he doesn't produce this year, then I think the Jaguars have to look at trading him away just so they can get enough draft capital while he's still fresh and young before his 4-year contract runs out.
So what you're saying is they'll have the number 1 pick again next year?
They could. I think the Jaguars will have one of the top 5 picks in this year's draft.
I could see it. I mean, they're pretty awful.
I think their problems are a lot worse than at quarterback.
Their signings this offseason were a little questionable too. Like Christian Kirk got an insane amount of money from them. But, I mean, that is the Jacksonville tax. Like, if you're going to get even a decent player in Jacksonville, you have to pay up for them or else they're going to go somewhere else.
So, and my hot take is within the next 10 years, the Jaguars will be looking to relocate outside of Jacksonville.
I think that would be good for them.
David said as long as Trevor doesn't get sacked 20 times a game, they should be better.
Well, anything's better than what they put on the field last year. So,
well, that's because their coach was a literal allegedly.
Alleged.
I just stopped myself at allegedly because that's what we do on this podcast. We stop at allegedly.
There was a lot of alleged Urban Meyer things, so could have been anything.
Carson also says terrible pick. Hutchinson should have been the undeniable. I can't speak. Number one pick. And then Carson also wants to know, we can answer this really quick, where Deebo Samuel will go. Dude, I'll take this one to start. They're so far from a trade with Deebo Samuel. It's not even funny. I wish I could tell you. The Jets were by far the best bet. They denied the trade that was coming to them for him. Obviously, the Jets made some phenomenal picks as well, getting a wide receiver and getting Garrett Wilson. It was Garrett Wilson, right?
Yeah, it was Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, and he's one fast SOB. And if Zach Wilson can connect to him, because I know Zach Wilson has the arm for it.
Yeah, I honestly don't think the Jets need another wide receiver. They have Garrett Wilson. Elijah Moore, I am really high on this year. I loved his tape from last year. He got hurt at the end of last year, but he was looking really.
Don't forget about Braxton Berrios.
And I was getting to that. Braxton Berrios also looked amazing at the end of the year. He's a good third. I think their receiving core is fine without Deebo, and I don't think they need that. Not necessarily stress, but I just think Deebo will stay with the 49ers because I don't think they're going to get a deal worked out with anyone else.
Dude, I was so excited to watch Michael Carter tear the field up this year. And now he's back to his UNC situation.
Well, Michael Carter, I feel like he's a good third down back. I never really saw him as the true bell cow for the Jets. So, but we can get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. The New York Jets on the rise, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we always say that. Who had the best draft in your opinion? I'm talking about the teams. I'll go first. If I say the same team as you, feel free to tag in. I think this was really simple for me. You could have. I know a lot of people say the Jets, the Eagles. I went a little different route. I went with the Detroit Lions. Aiden Hutchinson, like Carson said, steal, best player in the draft, slam dunk pick. There was no doubt about it. Jameson Williams, here's my big pick for the year. Jameson Williams is the next Calvin Johnson, and James Mitchell is going to be a phenomenal number 2 behind TJ Hawkinson on the other end. He can block, he can catch, he's one hell of a player, and Chris made a funny face when I said Megatron, but that's my honest opinion. Jameson Williams was the best receiver in this draft.
Absolutely. Chris and I were talking about this at TGI Fridays when we were watching the draft. Jameson Williams, if he didn't get injured, he was the number 1 receiver.
He would be the best draft pick for sure.
Absolutely. No doubt.
He's absolutely awesome. And if he is fully healthy by the start of the season, look out because he's incredible.
And Jared Goff has that Super Bowl experience.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff, this is Jared Goff's year, and he has a weapon to do with it. If he doesn't do with the pieces, he's going to be off the team.
He's got some crazy weapons, actually. That team is nuts.
The Lions' offense is looking pretty good. Even their O-line.
Picking up Sewell last year is perfect for the O-line. DeAndre Swift is debatable a top 10 running back in the league. You have the dynamic tight end duo now, which I think is going to be something that people aren't going to be talking about until it happens. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a tech person. James Mitchell was the best tight end in the draft until he got hurt. There was no doubt about it. And then that wide receiver combo of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams, gross.
Yeah, and they have depth. I mean, behind them, they have DJ Chark. They added him this offseason.
I remember, yep.
And then, obviously, behind DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, who had a pretty good year last year. They have depth. They have weapons. Their offense might be pretty good. We'll see.
Dang, imagine if Matt Stafford had that team.
I know. I know. Man, that sucks. But
go ahead, and we got a little off topic. Chris, you want to tell us who had the best draft?
Yeah, for me, it's clear. I mean, with what they did last year, I think the Jets had the best draft, drafting S.O.S at number 4, Garrett Wilson at 10, and then Jermaine Johnson at 26. I mean, I think 3 phenomenal round pick. Probably they did good what they need with those 3. They covered all sides of the ball, offense, defense, cornerback, wide receiver, and edge, which they all needed to build a better team for Zach Wilson and company. So for me, I think it's just clear of what they did with those 3 picks in the first round. I think that first round set the tone for the rest of the pick. And I mean, ending with Michael Clemens at edge with round 4 and their later picks, I just think they did a phenomenal job. And I'm excited to see what they put on the field, even though I'm a little questionable about Michael Carter. They're running, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I'm going to hop on. Go ahead, Brent.
Sorry, I had the same team.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Chris said, that first round for the Jets was awesome. Their top 3 picks: Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson. Those 3 guys, according to the Jets, were all top 8 on their big board. So they got 3 of their 8 favorite players in the draft, which is absolutely awesome. And that's not even including Breece Hall and Jeremy Ruckert. Those guys are incredible. They had incredible years last year. Breece Hall is my favorite running back in this class. Jeremy Ruckert was a phenomenal tight end. I just think if you're a Jets fan, you have to be happy about the future. They absolutely killed it.
Yeah, I'm going to hop on this as well. I also picked the Jets. They love their draft as well, obviously, with the top 8 players on their big board. Yeah, they love it. They're going to be super confident about that. And with S.O.S, obviously, it's like almost impossible for him to be as in the NFL as he was in college. But I still think he's going to be very, very good. And I know Chris and Joe aren't a huge fan of the Breece Hall pick because they love Michael Carter. But I think I agree with me that dominant third down guy that's picking up yards almost like a fullback. But yeah, I love this draft for the Jets, and I think they love it too.
I love how I can hear Braden talking through the wall. So even though there was like some little lag spikes in there, I heard everything that he said. But other than that, let's go ahead and do the contrary. Who had the worst draft? And I stood alone with the Lions for the best one. I probably will stand alone on this one too, because this team actually got on a few draft ratings at A, which I thought was so stupid. I had the Arizona Cardinals, who had the worst draft for me personally. And here's why. First of all, a first-round pick for Hollywood Brown is laughable.
Yeah,
laughable. So the amount of passes Hollywood Brown drops is hilarious. The Ravens won that trade by a bajillion, gazillion, whatever the next word in the Milky Way galaxy is. They didn't address the lack of depth they had at running back. There was some great running backs in this draft, and they passed on all of them. And then I personally hate when people draft the same position back-to-back. They drafted defensive ends, picks 87 and 100, especially with having J.J. Watt as their defensive end. I know that he's old, he's getting up in age, he's injury-prone, etc. But I don't like doing that back-to-back. I think they missed a lot of talent, and now they're kind of screwed at wide receiver because D-Hop is out for 6 games.
That's what I was going to say. I think that trade was more out of desperation. I think they had a feeling that the suspension was coming, and they needed to address it. I think that's why he went for a first rounder. It sucks that D-Hop's out for 6 games, especially considering the injury-riddled season he had last year. But hopefully Marquise Brown can pick up the slack for them while he's gone. We'll see.
Did you see what the things they found him taking?
I didn't see any of the drugs or anything.
It was 3 different types of steroids and a little tiny bit of beaver tranquilizer.
I was wondering why the suspension was so heavy because usually PEDs are 4 games. But like you said,
they just added a little bit extra.
If they found 3 different steroids and the Beaver tranquilizer, it kind of makes sense now. That's hard stuff.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
He's got to
A little
be jacked
bit.
up after that.
Whoever wants to go next, go for it.
I can take. I mean, for me personally, it might be like I said, Joe, maybe setting some strings, but I think the New England Patriots had the worst draft. I mean, set the tone with my worst value pick as well as Coltrane's a guard from Chattanooga, still very questionable, and I think set a bad for their entire draft. Juan Thornton, Marcus Jones, Jack Johnson. I love the pick out of Pure Strong. I mean, he was my favorite sleeper for round 3 and 4, so that's probably my little green light of their draft. But Bailey Zapp, Kelvin Harris, another running back. I'm looking at this and I'm asking, what are they doing? Where are they trying to put these pieces? Because I just don't see them doing something right here, and I just hate how they drafted. I think Bill Belichick is almost on his way out. I mean, it seems like year after year his draft process gets worse and worse. So, to me personally, this was the worst drafted team.
Are you suggesting that Bill Belichick's going to get fired?
I'm gonna say not fired, retirement.
Okay, I was about to say
Retire before it gets too late.
Okay.
Brent was about to blow a fuse.
Come on, Brent. Trust me. I'm not gonna say he's gonna get fired. He'll never be fired by the organization.
He's kind of like the best coach of all time, but
exactly. That's why I'm saying he will be. He will be.
I mean, we have Ben McAdoo, so
yeah. So come on.
All right, I can go for the worst draft. Honestly, this was kind of hard for me. I kind of liked every team's draft. I felt like GMs did a good job this year of fitting needs that fit their identity. But I'll go with the Dolphins because they only had 4 picks and they were in the back half of the draft. So they'll just have to watch Tyreek highlights because their draft wasn't very good.
fair enough.
I'm gonna hop in here real quick, and I'm honestly not entirely sure why. Like Brent said, this is a little bit difficult. But I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I just think with every one of their early round picks, Tyler Smith, Sam Williams, and Jalen Position fan this.
Yeah, I heard Tyler Smith. I don't think he was like a huge tackle coming out. I don't know if he was a first round graded talent or not, but it seemed like a little bit of a reach. I'll agree. Yeah, the Cowboys draft wasn't that great.
No. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, Brent. A lot of teams picked out what they kind of needed. There was a lot of A's, a lot of A minuses, a lot of B's. I think they all did okay.
I didn't see a single F on like anybody's draft grades or anything like that, but I thought it was pretty good overall.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree. Since we just talked about the worst draft, we can talk about the worst value pick. Chris, why is your name Jets? Jets?
Because I believe the Cleveland let me down, so I need a believer now, and it's the Jets.
Whoa, Brent moved locations.
Oh yeah, we switching around here, changing scenery.
I can hear you so much better now. That room gets no good signal. I like the flags behind you. Who decorated that?
It's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. I think we need to be more focused on that side, though. So.
And for the worst value pick, sure. No, actually, you can get. We'll go ahead and switch one more time. We'll do the best value pick because it does have to do with the Eagles. And I think
if it's the Kobe Dean show, I'm glad we're on the same page.
I think everyone in this chat might have the same person. I definitely know that Chris does, apparently. Nakobe Dean at number 83. I understand the medical things and that sort of stuff, but oh my word, how does someone from overall 19 drop to number 83? That's enough said. Is everybody in agreement?
Yes.
Yes,
I
Kobe
understand.
Dean. For the one time, I would say the Eagles did something right here in drafting Kobe Dean at 83. A menace to society.
I understand the injury concerns, but he should have been drafted in the second round at the latest.
Yeah.
When the Giants were picking early second round, I was telling Braden at the table when we were at Carrabba's, I was like, I really hope the Giants draft Kobe Dean. I really hope the Giants draft Kobe Dean. And they didn't. And a lot of teams didn't because he fell all the way to the fourth round and the Eagles picked him up. The Eagles, in my opinion, had the second best draft, obviously adding A.J. Brown. Jordan Davis is a behemoth of a man.
Absolute monster.
They killed the draft, and I'm sure Braden's just absolutely hype about it because I definitely would be.
I'm pretty happy. I think we did okay.
Well, for the first time in the Sports Outlet Show history, everybody's agreeing on something. Maybe we will. Actually, I know Chris and I are on this one because I also put Cole Strange, the offensive guard out of Chattanooga, as I like to say it. If I guess nobody understands that reference, but you, Braden. It was from March Madness season, and I became very country and started rooting for Chattanooga. Great videos, great fun. But he was ranked number 77th overall. He got picked at 29. Just wait.
Yeah, exactly.
What are they doing? Like Sean McVay said, we were looking at him to pick him at 104, and he got
that
picked at
video
29.
was so funny.
I understand it.
Like, yes, good guard, but come on, at 29, you could have got him in the next round.
Yeah. If you like him, you like him. If you like him, you like him. But trade down. Get some value out of it. Nobody's going to take him there. Get some value.
You're fine. And now you just wasted a first-round pick on a guard from FCS Chattanooga.
Brett, do you have somebody different?
I had the same.
We just know it's so bad.
Look at this.
I do. I mean, I agree with Braden. I think they should have at least traded down. They probably could have gotten him in like the second or third round. But I think Sean McVay was a little bit in the wrong for poking fun.
I think it's more fun that he pokes fun at that. I just think it creates more fun.
He was hammered in that video.
Oh,
for sure.
And I would be
He was
not picking
absolutely
to the second
plastered.
round. Why should I care about what's going on right now? I'm in the second round. I have my draft board ready. I'm going to watch to see who they pick. And when someone picks a joke at 29, I'm going to poke fun at it all day.
Next one is a favorite pick of the entire draft that was not from your team. I'll go first, but my favorite pick from the draft was on one of your teams. You guys want to know who do you guys think it was?
Commanders.
It was on the Commanders.
Was it?
Is it Sam Howell?
Yeah.
It is Sam Howell. I did watch this man at Lane Stadium on September 10th throw 3 interceptions to the Virginia Tech defense and lose as the number 10 seed on opening night. However, Sam Howell, before this season, which was one of the weirdest college football seasons ever, was expected to go number 1 overall. Behind him was Spencer Rattler, who was supposed to go number 2 overall.
Oh, God.
Obviously, neither of those happened. Sam Howell's a systematic quarterback. He's got legs. He's got an arm. UNC wasn't a great football team. Got him at pick 144, dude. Backing up behind Carson Wentz. Give him a year.
And Taylor Heineke right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Give him a year. Give him 2 years. I personally believe, and I'm going to say this as a Virginia Tech fan that watched him throw 3 picks, Sam Howell is going to be a franchise quarterback.
So you're saying that will be our franchise quarterback in the next 3 years after Carson Wentz leaves?
I'm saying that Sam Howell is going to be the most proficient, best quarterback in this draft class.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Well, and we'll in 1 second we'll get back to that quarterback talk. I accidentally skipped that, but Chris, you can go ahead, buddy.
Like I would, obviously you said I can't pick my own. I love the Sam Howell pick, obviously. I mean, I think it's a great thing. But for me personally, it's a little kind of heartbreaking for me to say that. But I think my best pick of the entire day was Christian Watson from North Dakota State at 34th overall. I mean, he was a beast at NDSU. Thankfully, he didn't play against JMU for the year. Or I think the game would have been a little bit worse for us. I mean, him going to Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers is a perfect fit. He's proven to play in cold weather, playing up there in North Dakota, South Dakota. And I just think he is a perfect fit for Aaron Rodgers at wide receiver 1, replacing Devontae Adams. And I think he's going to be a menace. And you're going to hear his name night. He's going to have at least 2 touchdowns.
Very nice.
Christian Watson.
All right. I'm going to go with Kyer Ellen, cornerback from the Buffalo pick. We saw multiple times out of the draft, Mel Kiper's needs for the Bills was literally just cornerback. So I think they took the best guy available at that spot, and I think they filled one of their only positions of need. And I think it's just a great pick for him. And I think they're really going to like the way that turns out.
Yeah. I really like the addition of Skye Moore to the Chiefs in the second round. The pick fits an obvious need for the Chiefs. Their wide receiver 1 is currently Juju, which isn't great for the best quarterback in the league. They needed another weapon there. And Skye Moore had a fantastic pro day and has tremendous upside as a prospect coming out of Western Michigan. So I think Skye Moore might do big things on the Chiefs.
Interesting. We went wide receiver. Braden, was yours a wide receiver?
Cornerback.
No, cornerback, excuse me. And quarterback. So we did back, receiver. Wow, we're in tandem today here, boys. I didn't have a little infographic here for this one, but we can go ahead and talk about the top 5 quarterbacks that went in the draft, guys. Obviously, we had Pickett at 20 to the Steelers. At 74, we had Desmond Ritter to the Falcons. At number 86, we have Malik Willis to the Titans. At number 94, Hottie Toddy, we had Matt Corral to the Panthers. And finally, we had at 137 was Bailey Zapp to the New England Patriots. We'll break these guys down a little bit, guys. Small hands boy Kenny Pickett, possible week 1 starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who was surprised here?
Nah, I mean, I'm happy with this pick. I think it's perfect. I mean, he's already in Pittsburgh. I mean, like Pitt shares the facility with the Steelers, so he's already been there. I'm sure he has a great relationship with the coaches, so it's no surprise that Pittsburgh would pick a local quarterback at 20 because they know how he plays. They've seen him more in person, and they probably have a better understanding of what his game is. I'm shocked he dropped a 3rd, but at the same time, it doesn't blow my mind that Pittsburgh decided to stay with someone local, and I think that'll pay off for them in the long run.
Yeah, I completely agree with Chris here. I think we all knew it was going to be a quarterback, and I think we all knew it was either between Kenny or Malik. And I think local is the right choice here. They've seen him a lot more, and they know what he's capable of.
I'll tell you someone who doesn't like that pick. It's Terry Bradshaw, actually. Me and Joe, we were at the sports breakfast on Saturday, and Terry Bradshaw predicted that the Steelers would get 4 or 5 wins this year, and he hated the Kenny Pickett pick. So I don't know. He was successful.
Not to create any controversy in Pittsburgh.
He was a successful Steelers quarterback, so I might have to go with his opinion. We'll see.
Yeah, but can we talk for a second about Desmond Ritter going as the second quarterback in the 3rd round?
It's interesting.
I mean, in this list of 5 quarterbacks, I see 2 of them have no business being on here, and one of them is Desmond Ritter.
The other one better not be Matt Corral, or I swear.
No, Bailey Zapp is my other one.
Bailey Zapp is nice.
But I don't think he belonged. He
He
to
threw
be picked around.
6,000 yards.
Okay, for Western Kentucky.
It doesn't matter.
It 100% matters. It's Western Kentucky. They probably have no other better options.
I think it makes sense for the Patriots because they already have like their franchise guy in Mac Jones. Yeah. So Bailey Zapp is kind of just like a consolation prize.
But I mean,
like,
still, if you're looking for a backup quarterback, I mean,
No, but I'm saying if you want a backup quarterback, you might want to get one with tremendous upside, and Bailey Zapp probably had more upside than some of these other guys because he was at a smaller school and he's kind of unproven.
I'm looking at their schedule, and I mean their only good win was beating App State 59-38 in the Boca Raton Bowl. But I mean, like, all of their wins have been mediocre.
I don't care where you go to school. If you throw for 60 touchdowns and 6,000 yards, you're not bad at football.
I'm not saying he's bad, but I just think that they could have waited to get that pick again. I think they're picking guys too early.
Yeah, the Patriots definitely have their way of doing things. Some of their
It's
picks
proven, but I just don't like it.
Some of their picks can be questionable from time to time, but they also drafted the greatest quarterback of all time in the 6th round. So
That's true.
You really can't argue with that statement.
Yeah.
You really can't. Gentlemen, we seem to love the term the carousel. We've talked about the coaching carousel. We've talked about the quarterback carousel. Today, we're doing a favorite team carousel rating. By the way, that's a hockey background in the back for those of you that can't see it because Stanley Cup hockey, that sort of thing. But today, I have assigned you guys from the English grade scale, A+ to F. Chris, you're going to be rating the Giants. Brent, you're going to rate the Eagles. Braden, you're going to rate the Panthers. And I'm going to rate the Commanders. Hopefully, you guys already did that. If not, you're about to get 30 seconds because I'm about to do mine for Chris. The Washington Commanders, who stole the name from an AAF team, and their hashtag. Still mad about that for the marketing campaign. I gave them a C-. Here's why. The reason it's not an F is because of Sam Howell. I do love the wide receiver out of Penn State, Dotson. I think he was drafted a little early, but he is going to bring that depth over time. I like the pick of Brian Robinson as well, the running back from Bama, but I hate it in the 3rd round because I love Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick as one heck of a threshold, and I think there's a lot of underlying issues that you guys didn't fill as much as you could. But I love Sam Howell. You already heard me on here. I say he's a future franchise quarterback, but could have been worse. Could have been worse. Could have been the Cowboys.
Valid.
Thank you. Chris, you can go ahead and go for Brent.
Well, I had the lovely time of picking a mediocre franchise at best, the New York Giants. And to my surprise, I'm giving them an A. I think they had a pretty solid draft class, drafting Kayvon Theodox, the DN out of Oregon at pick 5. I mean, Evan Neal, offensive tackle from Alabama.
A steal.
Was a pretty solid pickup for them. For me, I think their worst player they picked is DJ Davidson at D tackle. Still a little kind of iffy about that out of Arizona State. I don't know if that was the right time to pick him. But, I mean, rounding off on Darian Beavers, the linebacker from Cincinnati at round 6, did him very well. So I think they deserve a nice A for this. And I'm excited to see what they can do, and hopefully they can turn around a mediocre franchise and maybe place higher than the 4th in the division this season.
Yeah, I was absolutely pumped about the Giants draft. I mean, in the last podcast, we talked about our dream scenarios, and I remember saying in the 1st round I wanted Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau. It's just that I thought they would be in that order. I thought they would be reversed. And when I saw both of their names on the screen, I was so hyped. I was just so hyped because both of those were huge needs for the Giants, and Joe Shane absolutely killed it.
For once.
Thank God Dave Gettleman's not there because I would not have trusted him to make those decisions. But anyways, I can go for the Eagles if that's all right.
Yep.
So the Eagles got an A+++++ because the Eagles absolutely killed the draft. I already talked about it earlier. The only draft that was better was the Jets, in my opinion. Again, Jordan Davis is huge. When I was watching Georgia games this season, he just looked so much bigger than everybody else, and fast and strong. So he's going to be a menace. Nakobe Dean, we already talked about that a lot. Arguably could have been the best Georgia defender on that team, and you got him in the 4th round. And then who we haven't really touched on much, A.J. Brown to the Eagles is crazy. I never would have expected that. But it sounded like they already had things honed out on draft night because he was signed to a contract extension immediately after the news. So A.J. Brown is going to fill a big need because your guys' wide receivers aren't very good.
This is true.
Devontae Smith, I think he's all right. It was his rookie year last year, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But
Travis Fulgham.
A.J. Brown is
He's in the team,
immediately going to slide in as the alpha wide receiver 1, and he's going to command a lot of targets. So I expect big things from the Eagles this season, and they're winning the NFC East, no doubt in my mind.
They need to
Alright.
because for some reason Philly fans don't like Jalen Hurts.
I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's good.
I do too. They were calling for his head this offseason, but I don't think this draft was the way to do it. And now he doesn't really have excuses. We have plenty of good weapons, so we'll see how he can do. But yeah, I'm going to go and jump into the Panthers draft. I'm going to give them a B+. I love Ike Ekwonu. I think that's one of the best players available in the draft. That's a great pick for them. They're going to be protecting their quarterback. We talk about Matt Corral. I know last week we talked about Kenny Pickett maybe going to them at 6. They got their guy 88 picks later. So I could definitely see Matt Corral starting some games this season depending on the whole Sam Darnold situation. And, of course, being from Virginia Tech, you got to love Amari Bono. It's a great pick for them. I love him, and I think they're going to be very happy with him. So, yeah, I'm going to give the Panthers B+.
So happy to get Amari Barno. That one was huge, but I'm extremely excited. But we're going to do the problem of starting Sam Darnold for 6 games, and then we're going to be like 1-5, and then the season's already over, so it's not going to matter. So, like, disappointing year. Already ready for it. I just want CMC to stay healthy. Just want something nice to happen to the franchise for the first time since 2017. But yeah, so this is where the script is over, but this is not where the podcast is over. Welcome to Joe's surprise segment, ladies and gentlemen. The boys don't know about this. I've been wanting to do one of these for a while. It does have to do with the NFL. It's 3 really quick segments, questions. Very, 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 very quickly, we're going to do this. But it's called Mystery Player. And I'm going to pop up a quarterback, running back, and wide receiver statistics. And I want you to tell me who's going to put up these numbers this year. Here's the thing. You all have to be different. Brent, you're going first. Chris, you're going second. Braden, you're going third. And you're going to try and BS me to why that player is good. Whoever I pick, to whoever wins, I guess 2 out of 3, that's the most. They're going to get a nice little gift card Venmo from Joe. So,
Oh, I need the money.
yeah. So I thought we'd have a little competition on here. Brent, you get to start with the quarterback, then Chris, then Braden. Chris, you get to start with the running back, then Braden, then Brent. And then Braden, you get to start with the wide receiver, then Brent and Chris. Got it? You guys each have 30 seconds to explain to me why this person is this person. Brent, who is this player next year?
Well, I think that is going to be none other than Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert was absolutely incredible last year. He showed some great flashes, what you want in a franchise player. Obviously, the addition of Mike Williams helps a lot. Mike Williams was elite at the beginning of last season, and I think that their offensive line is incredible. He's going to have a ton of time to pass the ball. Austin Eckler is a great pass-catching running back, and the Chargers are just going to be so good this year. I'm so excited to watch Justin Herbert. Chris,
who's this player?
You're breaking my heart, Brent. I wanted Justin Herbert, but I'm going to go with Matt Stafford. I mean, what they Rams did last year was phenomenal. I think they're going to repeat that. I mean, he's a solid quarterback. I think he had a rating of over 100 for the year. And I mean, I think he threw less than 20 interceptions as it is, and I think he's only going to get better going back again into LA, hoping to go back-to-back, and I think it's going to happen, and I think that Matt Stafford is going to be a beast.
All right, give me Derek Carr here. This might sound a little shocking, but with the huge addition of Devontae Adams, he's going to be looked primed to score some big plays. They also have Hunter Renfrow still and Darren Waller. Darren Waller is going to have a huge comeback season this season. His last season was a little bit disappointing, I think, but I think he's going to go off, and I think the Raiders are going to be rolling in the AFC West. Even though it's a super tough division to be in, I think Derek Carr is going to get it done.
All right. Going to the running back. So, Chris, you get to start, then Braden, then Brent. Chris, who is this running back for next season?
Oh, my God. This is going to be a tough choice for me. I really want to go with Derrick Henry, but at the same time, I'm scared and nervous, especially, with what's going on there. But I'm going to have to go with Nick Chubb, especially with losing a trusted quarterback in Baker Mayfield, bring in Deshaun Watson. If he doesn't perform, they're going to look to run that ground game. And I think Nick Chubb with the ball is going to be an unstoppable force. I mean, I think he had almost 10 touchdowns last year as it is. I think he's only going to get more, especially with receiving yards. So I can only see Nick Chubb getting better and getting more yards.
Braden?
All right. I'm going to go Javonte Williams here. Added Russell Wilson in the offseason. That team has a lot of weapons, but I think Javonte is going to take the clear running back one role, and he's just going to roll. Russell's going to take a lot of attention away from the running game, so I think he's just going to pop off, and he's going to break those 1,400 yards and get in the end zone as much as he can. But obviously the only reason the touchdowns aren't higher is because there's so many other weapons on the team.
Brent?
So Chris said he wasn't going to go Derrick Henry, and I'm glad he didn't because I'm going to go Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, before the injury last year, was putting up absurd numbers, just monster numbers, trampling defenders. He's got that monster stiff arm. I remember in a couple years ago against Josh Norman, just completely embarrassing him and shitting on him, basically. But the Titans did draft Hassan Haskins. I think that only motivates Derrick Henry more. He's getting up there in age, and he wants to have as many monster seasons to end his career as he can, and he will next year.
Quick question. 1,400 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns. Is that a superstar season, or do you guys believe these players are going to be above and beyond that?
I could see Derrick Henry crushing both of those numbers, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Last but not least, Braden, you're going first, and then I think Brent, and then Chris. Wait, yeah, I think I did that right. Yeah, Braden, Brent, Chris. Mystery wide receiver. Braden, who is this freaking player, dude?
Sheesh. 145 receptions.
And that's yards, by the way. Sorry, it should say yards.
Yeah. Oof. Give me Stephon Diggs for the Bills. Those are obviously crazy numbers. I think the weapons on the Bills are going to be a little bit less than some of these other guys that Chris and Brent are going to say. So I think he's going to be getting the ball much more often. And I think if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him.
That's a lot of numbers. We don't usually see wide receivers repeat back-to-back as the number one overall. So I'm not going to pick Cooper Kupp. I am going to pick Justin Jefferson, who is an absolute freak, best route runner in the league. He is the undeniable top target on the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is going to feed him the ball like he has been for his entire career so far. And he's going to put up monster yardage. He's going to rack in those catches like he always does. And 17 touchdowns is a lot, but maybe he can get there. I love Justin Jefferson. He's probably my favorite wide receiver in the league.
I love that. Good pick.
Chris, who's this monster?
You guys left it too easy for me. The only reasonable answer should be Cooper Kupp. I mean, Cooper Kupp had a phenomenal breakout year last year. I wanted to do a little quick research. I might have cheated a little bit, but there was only one receiver getting 145 receptions last year, and that was Cooper Kupp. So I think he's going to just have a repeat of next year, especially with Matt Stafford. We saw a crazy year last year because there was a new quarterback in town. But all I can see is him producing the same ridiculous numbers again. He is definitely a wide receiver number one, easily top 3 pick in this year's fantasy draft. I think he's going to repeat. He almost had 2,000 yards last year, which is insane. So I can only see him getting better. Cooper Kupp is the only answer to be the best wide receiver and put up those numbers again.
So here's what I heard. I heard that Brent's starting lineup this year is Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. I heard that Chris's starting lineup was Matt Stafford, Nick Chubb, and Cooper Kupp, and that Braden's starting lineup is Derek Carr, Javonte Williams, and Stephon Diggs. So we have some options here. I can ask David and Carson in the chat to pick one of you to win. Are you saying that Brent's team is the best, Braden?
I am. Or maybe.
No.
I can ask them who the best team is. We can run a Twitter poll, or you guys can decide it. If you want the prophecy, I'll get him on the phone.
Oh.
Actually, I'll get him on the podcast. Hold on.
All right, David.
Hold on.
Whatever.
Hold on. Let me send him the link and see if he comes.
that.
Let me send him the link and see if he comes. If he does, I'm going to let him pick it, and I want his analysis on this. And that'd be the first time we've ever had 5 on here. While I'm looking for this, Braden, tell me why Derek Carr?
Well, I just love the new addition of Devontae Adams, obviously. It's a huge division. I think there's going to need to be a lot of passing, and the running backs with is Kenny Drake still there, right?
I think so, yeah.
And Josh Jacobs. I still think they're going to need to pass the ball a lot going against the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers twice. So I think they're going to need to be coming from behind, and I think Derek Carr's just going to need to pass the ball a lot.
I agree. That's why I picked an AFC West quarterback as well, because in that division you have to put up points. There's just no other way of winning. The offenses are too elite.
Oh no!
Gentlemen, welcome David Berry to this live podcast.
Let's go.
Is he in Walmart? What is he?
No, I'm in this is work. I come here every night.
Oh.
It's the only building I don't get kicked out of.
Fair enough. David, do you need a refresher on who these people's person is?
I remember Braden's because of how bad it was.
All right.
All right. So with that,
because I don't
take
see
Braden
stuff.
off of the podcast. Just to start.
Come on, David.
What was I know Chris had Cooper Kupp. Someone had
Cooper
Derrick
Kupp,
Henry.
Matt Stafford, and Chubb.
Okay, and what was Brent's?
I had Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson.
I mean, I don't see Nick Chubb. I think Brent has the stronger team.
Braden.
That's just,
I don't
Yeah,
think it's right, David. David, come on.
I mean, because Matthew Stafford was overrated. I mean, all he had was Cooper Kupp.
Exactly, and
And
he's going to do it again.
I don't see a repeat of that. I mean,
David.
Derrick Henry's dominant as long as he stays healthy. Justin Herbert, he's young, and it's his third year.
Yeah.
And he still has, he has Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, like y'all said. And those are 3 easy wideouts. And the man can run, and he's much younger than old man Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Well, you heard it there first on the first surprise challenge ever. Hold on. Let me say goodbye to Chris. Brent, as your first prize, besides the second one that I'm going to have to talk with both my financial analyst and myself later, you get to ask to wrap up the David Berry one question, and I'm going to hop off while you do.
David Berry, I love you. How's college going?
It's going to be great in 1 week.
All right, is that when you're done?
Yeah, I have a final tomorrow and then on Wednesday, and then I'm done.
Nice.
So
Nice.
2
Can't wait
days,
to
and
see
yeah, 2 days. I cannot wait to hit the links.
you. What pick did you get in the fantasy draft again?
Since you took 12th from me, which I was kind of hoping I would get 12th because the back-to-back thing.
I
But
wanted to be behind Chris.
okay, but you gave me my 9th position again, so I'm actually quite happy with it.
There you go.
I'll tell you now. I'll pick on a wide receiver.
Okay. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, maybe.
Howdy.
Maybe.
Where'd Joe go? Oh, there he is.
I'm right here, man. I just wanted to see what you were going to ask him in your time alone. Brent, to wrap us up before I do a little closing statement, do you want to finally explain to the people your name?
Okay. Cedric Highsmith is the best draft prospect we've ever seen. He's mostly on TikTok right now. You guys probably haven't heard of him unless you're a big TikTok fan like I am. Chris knows what I'm talking about. I know for sure. I think Joe knows what I'm talking about too. He's incredible out of Duke University. If you guys didn't know that.
Yeah. Many people get it confused with Duke, but it is Duke. It is Duke University.
Yeah, it is Duke University. And his Sunday night football intros, the best. Absolutely the best.
David was wrong again. David is wrong again, Junior.
Yes.
Right? I don't allow bullying on this podcast, so
Oh, no.
I'm going to go ahead and end this.
Oh, no.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Thanks, David, for giving away my money, I guess. I'm Terry Bradshaw. But seriously, thanks for coming out. We'll talk to you soon. And we're just going to go ahead and wrap up this podcast. David's laughing. I can already tell. Thanks, everybody, seriously, for coming out and listening to us here today. We appreciate all the likes, all the comments, everything like that. Guys, you have the floor. What do you want to say really fast? Because we're at 100 minutes.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are currently losing to the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-0, and I have nothing else to say about that.
Wait, what's the score?
5-0.
Who?
Maple Leafs.
I told you guys. I told you. It's over. It's over.
It's okay. Miami's winning 185, so it's okay. Hurricanes are killing the Bruins. I told you.
Alrighty.
Listen every time. Real quick, Carson, how do I feel about Chris Godwin? He's coming off that injury, so I'm not entirely certain. I think he'll have similar numbers to last year once he gets healthy, but it might take him a few weeks to come back because it was towards the end of the season when he got injured. So, yeah, Chris Godwin.
Perfect.
My name is Matt Corral, which is Matt C.
Matt C.
Chris, Braden, anything else?
No, thank y'all for listening. As always.
Same for you, Chris. Chris looks tired. Chris is going to bed.
Absolutely.
Brent, not again, dude. Come on.
Chris, your turn. Your turn. Do it, Chris.
Show us the boot.
Here, I'm not wearing the boot.
Oh, damn.
Oh, not the toes.
All right.
I can't wear.
Yep, we're
My
done.
foot is in
Ladies
pain.
and gentlemen, thanks for coming to the Sports Outlet Show. If you haven't hit us up on Twitter, make sure you do that. Do all the YouTube things. I'm not going to say like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. You already know that. Twitter link is at the bottom, really there. Sunbelt Conference from Chris Naylor. Thanks for coming out, showing up, showing out. NHL playoffs are getting started. Best time of the year is June, July sometimes. May, June, July. Pretty cool. Besides, it doesn't have NFL football. We appreciate you here at the Sports Outlet Show. Russell Westbrook was on Chris's screen for just a second there, and we'll see you next time here at the Sports Outlet Show. Peace out. Be safe. Good luck on your finals.